rock, Fujiyama! I don't think people should be afraid to do this.
So you're just playing around the right notes.
Playing around notes that like kind of sound like you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of got a nerdy theory. Kind of like to hear what you think about this. Like guitarists in the West, I feel don't really ever think about chords. They only sort of learn the guitar in terms of scales. You know, like every guitarist when they start playing fast, it's always just like, you know, that's like what everyone sort of starts playing when they start getting into like technical music. Whereas sort of what turned me on to your playing is that it's like very chordal. Very, you can tell that you're obviously following the changes and you're not just going up and down scales. And people in the West don't really play guitar like that, but I've noticed a lot of Japanese guitarists do play sort of similar style to you, where they're following the changes a lot more. So I think like, you know, the music, I guess, that was, you know, big in, you know, when Cacophony and like sort of early Megadeth stuff, you know, all the guitarists sort of playing that kind of like typical like scalular sort of like American metal style,
Right.
which is like, you know, totally worlds apart from like, you know, generally what you do.
Right. I don't know if it's a Japanese, I think the Japanese connection there is Japan is melody is king over everything.
Yeah.
So you can't even start without a melody in a song. The melody is all that really matters. So like I think what you might be referring to is if you hear a guitar part, it's part of a song. So I don't think people want to waste a lot of real estate in the song. So if there's a chord change happening, there probably is going to be some kind of reference to it, whether it be on a guitar or a keyboard or synth or whatever. Most things are rooted in melody, and there's not a whole lot of one chord jams. Which they're both equally valid. But like growing up in America, you had like all the guitar heroes were like the Jimmy Page and the Eric Clapton. If you listen to their famous stuff, Pink Floyd, it's like one chord and they play in one scale the whole thing. And it's just a different world. Not one is not better than the other. But here, like as you see in Tokyo, the city, there's a lot of things coexisting at the same time. A lot of things crammed in a small space. It's not loose, long jams. So like every melody, every note is accounted for. And
like every part has a purpose.
Purpose.
It's not very like jammy.
That kind of appealed to me. Because that's kind of been my thing even when I lived in America. It's like I hated to play just wasteful. I look at it as part of the music as real estate. This is valuable real estate. If I'm going to play over it, what I'm playing, it's got to be better than silence in here. If silence is better than what I'm playing, I should lay out. And sometimes silence is better than what I'm playing. So it's kind of a mindset.
Because I think what sort of really opened my eyes to that is when I first heard like you know, some of your old like classic solos, like in Lucretia, for example.
Oh wow!
Got that lick, you know, and that's actually I think it's just playing over just an F sharp, but you know you turn that into like four different. You're like insinuating like four different chord shapes just over like a simple. You know, it starts it's like a minor, and then you turn it into a major, and then back to minor, and then it's like a minor 7. So just over like one simple power chord, you're like, you know, you're getting all of this juice out of it.
Okay, good. So
like, I remember the first time I heard that, I was like, you know, what is going on there? Because like all that's happening is just like, it's just like an F sharp pedal, but you're doing all this sort of like wild stuff over it, and that's sort of like what really started me on that journey, I guess, of trying to sort of open my eyes to like how to follow chords and how important that is to like, you know, making your solos sort of stand out.
Well, good, and thanks for noticing that, because that's very important to me. And I'll if you want to go in that direction, we can really go in that direction. The thing about that particular case is obviously I follow all the chords, but if you notice in that case, I don't remember exactly what it was, but the rhythm guitar playing is very cool. There's like a cool riff going. It's not just like.
It's like something like that.
Something like this. Every chord is kind of like got a little pattern in it.
And
I thought, this is so cool. I don't want to like mess this up by just shredding all over it and ripping all over everything. So it was either two ways to go. Either I could follow the little nuances in that rhythm with a solo, and follow every little thing, or take the chord that's the base of each one of those riffs that's being played and follow each one in such a separate fashion that you're able to hear that rhythm guitar playing under my solo.
Yeah.
Because like that rhythm part is cool. So I don't want to cover it up by doing this just amazing solo that everybody hears the solo. I want my solo and that rhythm guitar part to come together and do this cool thing together because I don't want to waste that cool rhythm part.
Yeah.
So to do that, I have to follow every chord in a certain way. And the one chord that something I do all the time. If I'm just sitting on one chord, I'm bored by just playing it in one place. I will try major and minor is fine. Something I've been getting into lately, which is kind of painful, is playing the minor second for a long time over a chord.
Oh, all right, nice.
And if you do that like you mean it, that's a whole new tonality that's very nice.
Yeah.
So if you're picking up on that, we can do lots of stuff like that today if you want.
All right.
Yeah.
I think there's a bit of that as well in your, is it Illumination? One of your newer songs. You know, like I don't know how to play, but the sort of intro part is like a bit of like, quite a bit of dissonance sort of going on.
Oh, yeah. That's just...
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So, that's just...
Yeah. In a vacuum on its own, that sounds pretty nasty, right?
Right.
But in that context, it's like, you know,
I mean,
perfect.
but that's like some guys are in like extreme metal are doing stuff like that. That's so incredibly cool.
Yeah.
That like I can't even touch that. But I was doing that kind of more like classical music. Sometimes the piano plays two notes together like that.
Yeah.
I was going for that type of thing.
Yeah.
Let's
cool.
just go back to hold down an A for a second.
Yeah.
What I was talking about before, I don't think people should be afraid to do this. So do you see what I played every note in there? There's no bad notes anywhere.
Yeah.
So I think what happens to a lot of people is they get told, don't hit this note in this when this chord's playing, and the sooner that you get out of that, kind of your ears kind of maybe open up a little bit.
Yeah.
People get afraid to hear that, get afraid to play notes that are not in some kind of pattern that they learn.
I feel that's something that's not really like a lot of people could jump straight into. I feel like that's something that comes with listening to a lot of music and playing a lot of music and just like, you know, attuning your ears to like different sounds, right?
You gotta, I guess that's probably a good, to me, I've been playing forever, so it feels natural.
You take it for granted,
makes a lot
I guess.
of sense.
Yeah.
But like to put it in a little context for people who are playing patterns, like if the chord is just an A, like you have that, you're not deciding anything, whether minor or major.
Yeah.
Even if you were minor or major, I could say, fuck your minor or major. You're playing major, I'm playing minor.
Yeah.
Sue me.
See what that sounds like then.
So say you're playing...
It's interesting because like that, it just made you play like a completely sort of different way, like a different vibe, a bit more sort of like chaotic, or like the diminished things and everything.
Yeah. I think if there's anything that anybody could get out of that is it's always up to whoever's playing. So like, it's probably best to follow minor if the chord is minor. But if you're feeling
unless you're really confident.
If you're feeling randy, like you guys would say, if you're feeling randy, it's like say you're an A, right? You could only if your motif is say. As long as you kind of know where a safe spot is.
Yeah. So you're just playing around the right notes.
Playing around notes that like kind of sound like you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And then once you start to get confident with the notes that are weird,
Yeah.
then you use those as your bass root notes.
Yeah.
Like I want to get to that. So like say for example, you're holding the A there. That's the target is there.
Yeah.
If you're targeting those bad notes, it sounds even more intentional.
Mm-hmm.
So if you play a bunch of bad notes and then you wind up on like the good note, okay, that's cool. He went out for a second. But if you play a bunch of good notes and then go to the quote unquote weird notes, it sounds like, wow, you're doing something really risky there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's something to think about. And also like instead of thinking in terms of scales, maybe in terms of little sections like this. It's only these notes here, but there's a lot of different motifs that you can do. It can be normal, you can... Well, you can do a lot in a little space. So I think what intimidates even myself, I saw you do some things that are really hard that make you have to go...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like really fast type of things.
Yeah. Well, sort of the way I play arpeggios is sort of, again, from like listening to your playing, like on the stuff like Holy Wars. I remember that was like super influential on me when that thing was, all that sort of stuff.
Right.
Just like the way you sort of like playing arpeggios sort of like a bit like horizontally, it's like sliding. Almost sounds like the way like a violin plays arpeggios, like this sliding on these like, these big notes. You know, like you do this sort of stuff a lot, right? Like a...
Oh, right,
all this kind of stuff
right.
was very sort of like slidey between the positions. It always sounds like very sort of violin-y to me, and that was...
Oh, right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very good thing.
And I think that's why I picked up on it, because I played violin for 4 years before guitar. And the way when I heard you play arpeggio, I was like, it's like, that sounds a bit like how you do it on a violin with all the big like glissandos.
Right. That's really cool. But when I saw you play that, I'm thinking, if someone were to try to learn that, it's like it's a lot of places to go.
Oh, yeah.
And that kind of like forces you to think that you can't do anything in a little space.
True.
Whereas you can stay in a little space like forever if you want.
Yeah.
You can play this like weird Egyptian stuff or
Yeah.
all in the same place.
Yeah. Yeah, so many different sounds just in one little space.
I think that staying in a small place and exploring it is something that maybe people don't do that much, and
That's a great point. Yeah.
benefit from.
I definitely don't do that enough. I think the way I'm playing like that, it sort of comes down to not being as confident at improvising as you. And so when I'm like a chord comes, I'm sort of looking at like, you know, I know there's like a G here, for example, G here, here, and I'm just sort of looking at ways to like link these sort of areas together, if that makes sense.
That does make sense. But if you want to take that to the next step, forget about those and try to like hear a melody in your head.
Yeah.
And don't think about position. Go by feeling.
Instinct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like without thinking, okay, my next position is here, here, and here.
Yeah.
You think of a melody in your head. It might not be exactly right, but like whatever's in your mind, try to do the same kind of motif moving around as best as you can without saying, okay, I'm done with this part. Now I'm here. Then one position like that. Just try to like... Whatever it is, like it doesn't have to be within these learned positions. Anything is okay. None of it.
Just letting it breathe a lot more.
Yeah, it's all random anyway, so you don't have to... it's good to know those things, obviously, especially if you have to come up with something on the spot and just bang it out. Yeah. But like for improvising, that'd be like the first step. The next step is to try to hear things and then play them. Yeah. Which I'm sure
that's the end goal, isn't it, for improvisation? It's fucking hard.
Well, it's really equally as hard as what you're doing, but it's just a different thing. Yeah. I think it would be very difficult for me to play in positions because I probably haven't done it that way. Yeah. But yeah, you have an ear, so I'm sure you can do that. if you just set out to do that. It's not as hard as you think.
Yeah, I can definitely do that stuff, but it takes a bit of iteration. Doing it on the spot, like in one go, like that it's extremely difficult. Like I think not many people are like that confident at just sort of dictating music in real time. Because like, if you ever seen like Guthrie Govan improvise, for example, like it's like a master improviser, and you could just tell that he's just like dictating music just flawlessly in real time. You know, very much like you do.
Yeah.
I think that's sort of, to me, that's how I spot a guitarist that is like, you know, on another level.
Well, you know, it's one thing. You know what I mean? It's one part of guitar playing. There are guys who are playing, well, Guthrie's one, but like guys who play these incredible lines extremely fast and clean.
Yeah.
I could never do that because it's just, they're really nailing that.
Yeah.
And it's clean and the touch is just right.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. Improvising is another thing. Coming up with melodies is another thing.
Yeah.
Then, of course, harmonies is another thing. And then arranging there's millions of different things. And no one is like the almighty of all of those.
True. Yeah.
None of them, no one, because it takes so much to get your own thing down that you don't really, you know, put me on a country session and they'll kick me out so fast.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's true. It's hard. It's hard enough just to get to the point where you have your own thing going on. You know, not many people even get to that point. So.
Right, right. But I think like band situations is the way to get your own thing quicker than practicing.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything that you can really practice at home that's gonna get your identity as well as being in a band. Because then you're forced to. Now this is your part. You're like, you're the lead. You're the George Harrison or you're the Paul McCartney. You have your part of the band. When you're at home by yourself, you're kind of like working on weaknesses, and that, you know, isn't as beneficial, I don't think.
Do you feel like you had your own sort of style going on from like day one, or did it take some time to sort of fall into that, do you think?
It changes all the time. When I was a little kid, I was like a cross between the Ramones and Kiss.
Yeah.
Everything I did was either or was this.
Yeah. But even on your first couple of solo records, you already sound very much your own.
By then, I was already into it, but I wasn't doing what I wanted to do as well as I did a couple later.
Yeah.
You know, first 3 solo records were completely different. One was full on ripping all the time. Then there was this one new age type of thing. And like, who is this guy? You know, at some point you got to like kind of trim it down to like one artist. So that took a long time.
But then, I guess, and you sort of learned to make those two sides you're playing coexist in time, I guess.
It took a long time to do that, but
yeah. Do you still feel that your playing or your music is still influenced somewhat by Western music at all, or not really anymore?
I think, like, when you start playing, there's things that happen that influence you enough to want to pick up a guitar in the first place.
Yeah.
That probably never leaves you, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because as you know, picking up a guitar and then playing it forever, it's kind of a big...
Yeah.
Something big had to happen to make you do that crazy thing, right?
Uh-huh.
So in my case, it was punk rock and Kiss. So I gravitate to those type of rhythmic things when I'm playing rhythm.
Yeah.
Hence, I don't have all of the, so to speak, modern rhythm chops. I mean, I can do them when necessary.
Yeah.
But it's always like not as comfortable as when guys grew up in the 2000s and they grew up with that, and that's what made them start playing. I'm going to go like this first of all.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to play downstroke rhythms and not mute anything is the first thing. If I have to do something else, I'll have to work on it.
Yeah. But that contrasts so well with your style that's a little bit more sort of like, you know, refined and pretty a lot of the time, but then you also have this contrast, sort of like very aggressive, punky kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
Like maybe if you played rhythm guitar very delicately as well, it wouldn't quite have the same impact, would it?
No, I mean, I have a different way of playing a clean... my rhythm playing is pretty much only to suit my own music, which means in other people's music, it's not really the best.
Yeah.
And it's not nearly as accomplished as some people who are really making a living playing a lot of rhythm guitar. But what I was going to say is, like, the things that you start off with, like American music, I start off with punk rock and stuff. So that's still there. But then as you grow up, other things influence you big time. And those things kind of find their way in your playing, but you never really lose any of those.
Yeah.
The big ones. Of course, you like guys, maybe you like something for a couple years. I was really into that, and then I kind of lost it or whatever.
Yeah.
But there's certain mileposts along the way that stay with you, right? Like in my case, Japanese stuff.
Yeah.
I remember when I heard the group Garbage, that was a big one. I'm like,
Okay.
oh, okay, this is a great way to arrange guitar parts because it was really, really clever. And nothing was like that back then. Everybody was like either grunge music or full-on ripping.
Yeah.
And Garbage was doing cool guitar stuff that was neither of those. And I really felt the guitar in pop music. I'm like, wow, I'd love to like have this much guitar in pop music all the time.
Yeah.
So that was big. But I'm sure you have those big moments, like the ones that made you start to play, and then along the way you picked up this. And what would those be?
Oh, well, sitting right here.
I wasn't fishing for that.
Wow.
But I mean, like when you first started playing, it wasn't.
When I first started, there wasn't really anything specific. I feel like when a lot of people pick up an instrument, they're just sort of like meandering for a long time until they sort of like find something that clicks with them, right? That sort of
really, there wasn't something that said, I got to go buy a guitar?
Yeah, but I feel like that's a bit different to sort of really what gives it that longevity. Because I got into guitar in the very early 2000s. Do you remember like the new metal stuff? You know, like Limp Bizkit
That's what
and Linkin
started
Park.
you?
Yeah, around that time.
So you heard, what did you hear and like, I got to go buy a guitar?
It was all the stuff that was on Kerrang at the time, like Linkin Park and Limp Bizkit, all that sort of stuff. You know, because like that sort of music was very appealing to a little like dumb 12-year-old kid, right?
Just like Kiss.
Yeah.
Dumb
yeah,
12-year-olds.
Sort of thing,
We're the ones who buy guitars.
Yeah.
So,
and that made me want to get the guitar. But then it's when I sort of went down the rabbit hole and like I found your music and Jason's music that sort of like made me sort of like a bit more sort of like targeted and like what I wanted to listen to and how I wanted to play.
But the stuff that first got you excited before you even knew how to play a guitar, that stuff is still in there, right?
Yeah, way down, but it is. Yeah, it never goes away, you're right.
You know, you're going to be in the studio someday and the producer's going to say, you know, I need something like a Linkin Park riff right here. You're going to be so on it, and you're going to be, wow, I'm so glad you asked me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm sure it's already happened, but I mean, what I'm trying to say is like it never leaves you, right?
It's true.
Right.
Yeah, it's an interesting point. All right, I think that's everything I had planned. Thank you so much, guys. Been an absolute pleasure hanging with Marty today. I hope you learned a thing or two about guitar. All right, cheers, guys. Catch you later.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Little balls with a letter of the alphabet on, and then have to play a riff on the spot of a band that starts with that letter.
H.
Oh my God, that's a hard one.
He's a spunny git.
That's definitely an old-fashioned one. A spunny old git, eh?